Welcome back, guys, to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be going over how I lost $182 trading the Nasdaq. And you might be thinking, Cal, why is this so much different to your other videos, like in terms of risk management? Usually I'm risking about 500 per trade per account, so usually I'm losing or making somewhere around 500, right? Now, today was interesting. So this week is, the outlook for this week is very, very tough, to say the least. So we have Thanksgiving, so that's a bank holiday on Thursday, Black Friday on Friday, and we also have PPI tomorrow. So on this specific week, whether you're watching this at the time or in the future, the week is not great economically. So I am lowering my risk to $250 per trade per account. Now this is fine because obviously that can compound. That's fine. That's what I've always used to risk. However, at the top of this stop loss, I got stopped out for about 87 points, which double that, obviously, $2 a point, is around 180. So let's get into this trade and why I took it. This is a good setup, A+ mechanical setup. The reason this loss is more subjective in terms of daily bias, but we'll get into that. So let's jump into market open. Let's wipe the chart completely. So at market open down here, I had a clear bullish draw, right? We had this high inside of a 4-hour gap. This was my draw on liquidity going into market open. Now, what I wanted to see was a tap into this 5-minute gap, which is what we got. Look, got this delivery out of the 5-minute gap, and I wanted an inverse back up. So I wanted a fair value gap to be inversed on the way back up. And if we go down to the lower time frames, as you can see here, we have a 1 minute up here. There's no 1 minute down here. And then when we do eventually tap into this 1 minute, we just rocket through it. So unfortunately, there was no setup to take there. That is the long position I wanted. Now we didn't get that. So what I was waiting to see is how do we react when we hit this obvious high? Right? How do we react when we hit this major high? So at first we blasted through it. So I'm thinking, right, we're more bullish now. And something that I've been reviewing and something that I can see with my trading is I need to play off what I see a lot more rather than just marrying a certain bias. And that's exactly what I did today, and I do not regret it at all. So as you can see here, we have this really nice rejection wick after sweeping this high. And obviously on the hourly time frame, at the time, we were down here. There was a massive wick sweeping this hourly high, right? So it was a super nice delivery. As you can see, we came back down. And then what we did is we came back up, we retraced the 50% of this leg, came back up, and then we re-manipulated above this high. Now, I did actually take a 30-second long in here, but that was a break-even trade because we tapped the 50% of this leg. That was a break-even trade, unfortunately, so I was kind of 50-50 after we'd swept this high because we weren't super bullish. We started coming back down. We weren't super bearish, but then we got this. So we re-manipulated above this high. And if you know my model, if you know inverse fair value gaps, this was super strong close. We inversed the 3-minute gap. Really strong close. And this was perfect for a nice little 1.2 risk to reward. Stop loss at the high. We had really strong draw on liquidity below, 5-minute intermediate term low. So this was my whole thought process throughout this trade. And we also, if we zoom out, we had trendline liquidity here. So basically, all this is if we look above every single one of these lows, below every one of these lows, there are stop loss orders resting everywhere down this trend line. So many stop loss orders down here that the market could potentially want to grab. Now, unfortunately, I was wrong, or I wasn't even wrong. This is just the edge playing out from all the back testing that I've done. You cannot always blame yourself for losing trades. I know there'll be people in the comments of most likely my short saying, no, but you didn't see this, or you didn't see this, or this was happening, so we were clearly bullish. Unfortunately, that's not how the market moves. This is my edge. This was a valid trade for my edge. Unfortunately, this was one of the sort of 2 or 3 times out of 10 that it loses, as my win rate is around 70 to 80%. But yeah, I could have been more cautious here. I could have definitely been more cautious. We put in a 5-minute as the 3-minute closed. So this only just formed. We obviously respected the 5-minute. And also we had a lower 2 minutes. So I could have been more cautious here for sure. That is one thing that I will admit. I could have waited for the 2 minute to inverse. I could have waited for to see if there was a 5 minute form, and I didn't, which is fine. We had a V shape on the 3 minute, super nice draws on liquidity below, and I knew that this trade was low risk, right? Because you can only risk 1 micro here, because that would take you to that would be 2 micros would be well above the 250 risk. Risk management is absolutely everything. The thing is with this trade, I will go on tomorrow or the day after and catch a winning trade that will be much bigger than this loser, which is absolutely perfect in terms of risk management. Now, unfortunately, this trade didn't play out. In terms of the bias, I was wrong about the bias, which is fine. We have just pumped up all day. And yeah, got to be careful this week on weeks like this where there's bank holidays. There's a Black Friday this week. There's red folder news on Tuesday and Wednesday. And today it was a no news Monday. No news Mondays can often provide us to just either pump up or shoot down in one direction, as you can see today. That is exactly what has happened. So that is exactly how I lost 87 points on Nasdaq today. Part of the game. We will move on to the rest of the week. Maybe there'll be another video this week. We will see if we get any more worth going over. But yeah, thought I'd definitely make a video on this. Super nice entry. And the drawn liquidity was obviously more bullish. We did have this big 4-hour gap. But another thing is, another confluence was we already tapped into 50% of the range. We'd already tapped into premium, so I thought this was a really good place for shorts. But no. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to join my Discord. The link will be in my bio to that. You can join the live streams, trade live with me every single day, and there's free streams every single Monday. Drop a sub, and I'll see you guys in the next video.